A big thank you to MPB and their Kit Hall of Fame campaign for sponsoring this week's video. Welcome everybody to what is the top of the world. Not quite, but at the top of civilization. At least this is Longyearbyen on Svalbard. And Nigel, Mass and I are here to begin a recce for a workshop next year. Basically, we're going to sail around Svalbard, head across to East Greenland, and it's going to be an amazing trip. So details of that workshop in the description. But we've been here in the town for a couple of days and I've done some photography, so I thought in this video I could show you that. Starting basically as soon as we got off the plane. Right, well, my hotel is just there. Just come from the airport, dropped my bags. It is 2:20 in the morning and I don't feel tired in the slightest because the sun looks like that. So I thought I'd come out and shoot in the most northerly town in the world. I really love shooting in places like this. I mean, by most conventional measures, they're not what you'd call pretty, but places like this, really what I'm looking for is stuff that piques my interest. And I'm so curious about people's lives here that typically I don't have to look too far for that. And sure, it's a bonus if you find compositions that have got nice weighting or nice leading lines or whatever, but that is just a bonus. First and foremost, what I'm looking for is stuff that's piquing my interest. Anyway, back to some more photos. Probably not in the order that I took them. There were several instances over the past couple of days where I've reshot stuff in completely different light. And despite the fact that I've been a photographer for years now, it never fails to surprise me how different things can look under different lighting conditions. The last couple of days here has really reminded me of that. Anyway, more photos. How's it going?
What you told me before is concentrate on the story and not the composition. I can't get it out of my head. I've got to find something that looks good all the time and compositionally good. But I think just around there, I found something that was a bit of an abstract thing that told the story a bit. And then rather than going close in, I went wider, including things that didn't really add to the composition, but added to the story. Okay. So that was a success. It's probably rubbish.
Have you turned your camera on yet? Not really Mass's thing, this. Right, this is quite nice and simple. You've got the nice red, I don't know if it's like a fire truck building or something, got a puddle and the mountain behind it. I'd like to get a bit closer than I am now, but the trouble is as I walk down this hill, you lose the mountain, so it's a balance. And I think I'm probably best off at 70mm from about here. I don't really like the shadows from the trucks, but not much I can do about that. As I wait for the sun to go behind that cloud again. So as was the case before, where I can stand is kind of dictated to by where the cloud level is, because I don't want the cloud to intersect the roof line. I think that'll just look messy, so I gotta stand here, basically. And I don't know that it's necessarily worth shooting over and over again, but I like how minimal it looks. Yeah. The world's most northern halfpipe, I imagine. Everything is the most northern here. We had dinner in the most northern pub in the world. But it's over there. That just looks like carnage. I love it. There's a photo here. I just don't know what it is. I want to get the stream. There's like a trailer thing down there and then the boat. Maybe some of these buildings, but lining them all up and not just having a completely empty left half of the frame is tricky. Kind of like the mountains through this little gap here, and then obviously all the man-made stuff. My kind of scene. My kind of scene. Well, we've reached the edge of the town, as is marked by a scary looking polar bear sign. I think any further than here and you need a rifle for the polar bears in case you encounter an aggressive one. I didn't pack a rifle in my suitcase, so should probably turn back. Yeah, I love photographing places like this. It's strange, in so many ways it feels familiar. We just had a coffee in a nice coffee shop. There's a supermarket. There are some roads, we're staying in a hotel. It's all very normal, and yet we're somewhere where the sun doesn't go down for months of the year, doesn't come up for other months of the year, and they have crazy weather and bears. All very surreal. But it makes a good, interesting place to photograph, I think. James, how is it possible that you look even cooler than usual? Well, I imagine it's got a lot to do with the fact that I am head to toe, and I'm not joking about that, check out the socks, head to toe in MPB stash. Why is that? Well, I am a very proud member of the 2023 Photo and Video Kit Hall of Fame nominating committee. What's that? Well, as much as I like to say that this is not a gear channel, as many of you know, I love gear and talking about gear, and I do it an awful lot, so I was very proud to be asked to be part of the nominating committee. And basically this is a campaign where MPB try to get to the bottom of what is the best kit, and to do so they have split the campaign into 5 different categories. So we've got classic, road tested, iconic, game changer and trendsetter. Focus. Please focus. And it's your job to go and vote for what you think is best out of the shortlisted stuff that I and some much more talented people on the nominating committee have come up with. Then if I was the only member on the nominating committee, I'd have just picked the Lumix G9 for all of them, but not everyone agreed. Now the best bit is that if you vote, you will be in with a chance to win a Sony A7RV, which is a previous winner in the trendsetter category. Fantastic camera, I owned it for a year or two myself. And if you want to be in with a chance to win one, all you've got to do is vote for what you think should win each of those categories. So yes, a big thank you to MPB for including me. Very exciting. Also, take these off. Oh, that's bright. This trip that I've just done, lots of videos to follow, but I mentioned it was a recce for a workshop next year. We've since decided to change that workshop somewhat and not go all the way to East Greenland from Svalbard, because on this trip we found it meant too many days at sea and missed opportunities for photographing more polar bears, more amazing glaciers, crazy mountainous valleys on Svalbard. So basically our plan now is that we're going to stick around on Svalbard for the entire trip. So if you're interested in that trip, you can register your interest in the link below and you'll get more updates as we come up with them. But yeah, it's going to be a good trip. But yeah, thank you for watching, and a big thank you again to MPB. Please go and vote, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.